Hi, Cory. Thank you for coming here and being a part of our Game Design Expo. Tell us who you work for and what is it that you do?
I work for Blizzard Entertainment. I'm a lead content designer on World of Warcraft, and I'm basically responsible for any of the content that goes into the game, things like the dungeons, the cities, and all the zones in WoW.
So obviously that work that you do is directly tied to what your talk was about today. Tell us a little bit about that.
I wanted to give people a little bit of the insight into how we actually plan to get WoW out to the players. I think a lot of people have been able to see the final art and the final product, but I just really wanted to give them a look into how do we plan for stuff, how do we make sure that that scope is going to work, because WoW is such a big game, and I think a lot of people wonder, you know, how many people does it take to get that done? And I think we use a lot of tips and tricks to kind of do that, so it was fun to get a chance to talk about that stuff today.
So you refer to that as macro design. What exactly does that mean?
I think it means looking at the design of your game as a whole and saying what is the scope, what are we kind of trying to deliver, and not getting lost in the individual details, which I think it's really easy for people to do. And a game like WoW is so big, you could easily lose a part of it. You know, and so the macro design is really us taking the game as a whole, looking at it and saying, how are we going to do this?
As somebody who values pre-production and really planning things out, what would be one piece of advice you would give to either a new game designer or somebody who's looking to go into game design?
I think the biggest thing would be exactly what you said, that taking like pre-production on something is important. Don't overlook those individual details of that kind of stuff. Especially nowadays where we've got things like iPhone and iOS and things where a single person can make something and have it become successful. I think it's really important to realize that, you know, you got to spend that time, things like that happen. Someone spent a lot of time way before they coded it and got it up and running. They spent a lot of time working on levels. What is the pitch? How is it going to flow? You know, and make sure that people know that's important. I think that's really the big key message here is, you know, spend a little time up front and get a lot of benefit at the end.
So this is your first time coming up here for the Game Design Expo. Tell me a little bit about your impression of what you've seen today and why you think these types of events are important for the community.
I think it's great because it gives people a chance to see people speak that are working in the industry now, which is really nice without, you know, and it's great that it's local here. You know, obviously there's GDC and there's DICE and there's lots of other things, but I really like seeing something localized, especially where the school is here. So I think like students would get a chance to see this kind of stuff too. You know, like how did Angry Birds become so successful? Like how did this happen? Reading, I saw there's Connect and there's some of the other stuff, and what's cool is you're getting a look at what's big right now. Like I'm playing a ton of Connect too, so it's interesting to hear where it came from, you know, what they're planning to do with it, how a lot of that works. So it's just great to see that all in one place.
Well, thank you very much for being part of our Game Design Expo this year. We look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.